Hi guys, so I wanted to show you this tweet that was released by the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office about the Northern Ireland Protocol. Now it says in the tweet, and it includes a video, there isn't any audio, it's just a video, but it says, the Northern Ireland Protocol was designed to protect the peace process and respect all communities in Northern Ireland. It is doing the opposite. Now this is Trumpian propaganda, basically. You have a government department, and you're going to see it now, a government department engaging in Brexiteer propaganda. This is supposed to be impartial. The politicians say one thing, but the government department is supposed to be as neutral as possible. Now, we've seen it before how Liz Truss, when she was the International Trade Secretary, was producing clips via her department talking about how wine is going to be cheaper and things like that. But while it was flexible with the truth, it wasn't as blatant in its propaganda as this. And just take a step back for a moment. The Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office is talking about Northern Ireland. Well, Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, so what the heck are they talking about here? But let's get into the clip. As I said, there's no music or there's no audio, it's just video. So the first part says there are significant problems with the Northern Ireland Protocol. This is putting the Belfast Good Friday Agreement at risk. This is absolute crap, and this is typical Brexiteer propaganda. The Northern Ireland Protocol undoes some of the damage of Brexit, not completely, okay, and I've covered that before, but it undoes some of the damage of Brexit. Brexit puts the Good Friday Agreement or the Belfast Agreement at risk, not the protocol. And the idea that the protocol is the problem here is typical Brexiteer language. And once again, I'm extremely concerned that a government department, which is run by civil servants, is engaging in Brexiteer propaganda. Then it says the protocol prevents the free flow of goods between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK, undermining the UK's internal market and prosperity. But this is the consequence of Brexit once again. The European Union said, look, let's keep the entire UK within the single market and the customs union, and then it won't be necessary to have a border between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And the Brexiteers, Boris Johnson, Lord Frost, the ERG, said, no, we don't want that. We want to leave the single market and the customs union. So the compromise was the Northern Ireland Protocol to protect the Good Friday Agreement. And a border had to go somewhere. And Boris Johnson said on numerous occasions, I will never put a border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland because that would damage the Good Friday Agreement. So the compromise was to put the border in the Irish Sea, even though Boris Johnson said he would never put a border in the Irish Sea. But then Boris Johnson is not someone we can really trust. He'll say one thing one day and another thing the next. And we have a lot of experience of that. But the protocol prevents the free flow of goods. No, the type of Brexit that Boris Johnson wanted prevents the free flow of goods between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK. That's a consequence of Brexit. Before, there were no barriers. Blame Brexiteers, not the protocol. Now then it says 78% of people in Northern Ireland have said that the protocol could be improved. Now this is somewhat true. A majority of people are looking at the protocol and say, yes, it can be improved. The protocol, and I have said that as well, the protocol is not perfect. The protocol is like a fire extinguisher. Brexit is the fire. Will a fire extinguisher completely extinguish the fire? No, it may not. It may in some ways, it may not in others. It's not perfect. It's far from perfect. But Brexit is an absolute disaster. Brexit is a fire. So to say that 78% of people in Northern Ireland want it improved is not groundbreaking. The protocol is negatively impacting community groups, including the Jewish community who have struggled to obtain kosher food. It's negatively affecting community groups. There are certain communities in Northern Ireland, particularly the loyalists, who are angry because they wanted a border put in the, not in the Irish Sea, but on the island of Ireland. They didn't care about the peace process. They didn't care about the Good Friday Agreement. They wanted a border put between Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Of course, that would have broke the Good Friday Agreement. It would have resulted in Boris Johnson receiving a massive backlash from the United States. So the border was put in the Irish Sea. But once again, the Jewish community didn't have any problems accessing kosher food before Brexit. Now they are. They can also source kosher food from the Republic of Ireland. It's the issue here is accessing kosher food from Great Britain. Doesn't mean that they're completely cut off. But of course, this clip doesn't contain that information. Then it says the Northern Ireland Protocol needs to be fixed. This is why we are in intense talks with the EU to achieve a solution. The Northern Ireland Protocol does not need to be fixed. It needs to be implemented. And the EU have provided mechanisms to implement it and to be flexible in that implementation. And I've raised this point before. I've yet to hear from Lord Frost or Liz Truss or Boris Johnson specific problems with the protocol. The protocol can't do this. Okay, but they won't actually talk about the problems of the protocol or what the protocol can't do, because as soon as they raise these problems, then we can work on a solution. For example, medicine. The European Union said, okay, if it's necessary for specific medicines to get into Northern Ireland, we're not going to stop that. And then later, they provided better solutions. The business community reached out to the European Union and said, please help us. We'd like to try and streamline the process of moving goods from Great Britain into Northern Ireland. And the European Union went further than some of those requests. And that's it. The UK government, once again, the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office is engaging in Brexiteer propaganda. The idea that the Northern Ireland Protocol is not working. No mention of Brexit here. Did you see any mention of Brexit? I didn't. Of course not, because they're trying to blame the protocol and not Brexit. Brexit is the problem, not the protocol. And I say once again, this is Trumpian propaganda, using a government department to push Brexiteer propaganda. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.